This is group presentation of Team E, and our teammates include Manfei, Tianlin, Yulin, and Zhiheng. Let's go straight to the point and first look at the camera settings. We did our group project based on the camera settings, as we want not only a right model, but a correct one. Firstly, this is a program scope model. It means we need to consider the model in a more strategic way. Secondly, for the focus setting within the model, our focus here is concrete, and we value simplicity more. For the timer setting, we focus on the model right now. For the future setting, as we are trying to find out the problems within the existing model and meet the goal of company, which is to capture the requirements and the rules for storing and retrieving titles. We are forward engineering, and this is a business filter. Besides, for the mode setting, this is a relational model, and we will focus more on operational systems and care more about the rules inside the system. Lastly, this is a logical data model, so it is independent of techniques, and we only focus on capturing the requirements. In the next part, we will go through our scorecard one by one. The first category is correctness. The overall correctness of the initial model is okay. It includes most information in the dataset and have a correct relationship between entities. However, there are two problems about correctness here. As this is a concrete term model, the abstract defined entity name should not be existed, as there may be misunderstanding, so the intellectual unit 1 is not suitable here. Secondly, the edition primary author full name attribute is in edition entity. This is odd, and it should be placed in author entity, and there may be further change. Because of these two errors, this category is only given 10 points. The second category is completeness. Although no attributes are missing in the model, there are two main problems of this category. The first important problem is that we cannot find the entities that shows the language information, while there is an attribute language code as a foreign key in publication entity. The second problem is redundancy. Some attributes are unnecessary as they are not shown in the sample title. The attribute author sequence number in contribution entity and the HR payroll system internal ID, author birth date, social security number in author entity is unnecessary. Because of these two errors, this category is only given 8 points.
Regarding the definition of category 3, we ensure that the model type of model being reviewed match the definition for this type of model. This is a relational model, and relational perspective captures business rules. Looking back to the model, it clearly shows the relationship between authors and publication, which is on the right check. And for this category, we also do a non-check to make sure all candidate keys are unique, stable, and mandatory. But for the median length table, median length type names as candidate key shouldn't be none here, so we would like to take the point off. And we also make sure that every relationship has a corresponding foreign key. In this model, every relationship has corresponding foreign key, which is good. Based on our evaluations, we would like to give 7 in this category. Next slide, please. We want to catch everything structurally incorrect on the model data model for category 4. There's a duplicate relationship between the author table and the attribute table. In category 3, we do a non-check for the candidate key, but here we do a non-check for all attributes. And we would like to take the point off because if the attribute is a mandatory field, it cannot be none, like person's first name, last name, and organization. But for subtitle names, alternative identifier value can be none. Based on what we consider, category 4 earns 5 here. Next slide, please. Jumping to category 5, we would like to give a high score because this model is a relational model designed for a publishing company. Besides, the name of intellectual unit is too abstract. Other entities' interactions are smooth and well balanced. This model has good subtyping, nailing, and meet the level of abstractions. Next one, please.
So with category 6 and the original model, one entity is missing a prime word. The entity is agency. Whose agency is it describing here? Is it a book publication agency or medium agency? It's not stated clearly and may cause confusion. However, the rest of the names are complete, containing the 3 sections of prime, modifier, and class word, meeting the requirements on the book. Therefore, this category is given 8 out of 10. So as shown, we improved the original identity name agency to alternate identity agency. The prime word is now included and it's more specific. Next slide, please. Originally, the model was not in a frame. It did not use any colors and the lines are tangled. However, the model do have alignment to the left with bold identity names and supertype above subtypes. Therefore, we give it a 4 out of 5. We made some adjustments and the final model looks like the right picture, without tangled lines and with colors colored by identity category. Next slide, please. So overall, the model provided most of the definitions with details, but there are still some missing or incomplete. Therefore, 2 points are deducted. The following shows the definitions that should be added in. The publication code, which is a unique number to identify a book within the publishing company. The edition code, which is an integer indicating the version in which the work is published. Language code, a shortened form of the language the publication would be sold in. In this case, ENG stands for English, SPA stands for Spanish. Language name, it should be the full form of the language that the publication would be sold in. In this case, we have English and Spanish. Next slide, please.
For category 9, because this rule did not provide an enterprise model, this category does not apply. We decided to move the point originally assigned to this category to category 6, the naming standard. Because our team believes that the naming standard is the key to helping audience understand the model. Next, please. For category 10, the model only has 5 attributes that have data type or no option mismatch with the data. Firstly, the entity person and entity organization, attribute person name and the organizational name. The original data does not allow a no value. Both of the attributes should be no as the left figure shows. Second, in the entity publication, attribute publication length count should be an integer and attribute publication alternate identifier value should be 10 digits instead of 2, as the right figure shows. In conclusion of the category 10, the overall data type and no option match the data that will be imported in this data model. And the most mistakes are minor. We give this category 8 out of 10. Next, please. To summarize this review, despite the fact that model did well in category 5, 6, 8, in terms of naming standard, generate structure, and matching the data, this model did poorly on some high-weighted categories, such as category 1, 2, and 4. In terms of completeness, correctness, and the model structure. In the updated model, as shown on this slide, we revised the model to fix the weakness while retaining the strengths. Thank you. That's our presentation.